Hey, welcome back. Well, we're making a start now. Ka timatanga te mahi I roto I te marakai. Ko te kupu tuturu e pāna ki te marakai, mahinga kai. Mahinga kai te wahi mō ngā whakatohi ai, whakapaipai ai te one te whenua hoki. So we're now at the start. We're about to make a start on how we get into preparing our backyard marakai. And so from the outset, where I talked about in the past where I may be doing gardenings out of there was a discipline method through to trying out unsuccessfully in little scales types of things. I've now in the last 3 or 4 years, and actually probably in the last 5 years, have really become a garden fanatic from the perspective of the satisfaction and joy of seeing seeds grow, you're germinating them through to hardening up to planting and then harvesting and then cooking the kai. That cycle of growing, sourcing, nurturing, watering, tending to the soil through to cooking a kai and putting it on your table, whether it's just for yourself or your whānau or at Christmas time, and being able to go out and pick vegetables has become a real buzz for me. And really what this course is about is a series of lessons that I've learned that I apply to my own backyard garden and to the contexts where we go and help out whānau in our local area. Scope out the idea of a garden, look at the site, and then we move into preparing the soil and planting out, and then hopefully in harvesting. So these are a series of lessons that I'm actually doing myself. I do it myself, so it's not someone that's some theoretical from a university just talking about the theory and the microorganisms and the fungi and all those nuances that happen within the soil, although we'll get a little bit of that. This is real practical, hands-on, getting your hands dirty, experiential learning that you will go from having something that you've planted, whether it's in a seedling process, germinated, through to putting food on the table. Alongside that, I've also found it very therapeutic from a hauora perspective, from a health perspective. I had suffered from post-traumatic stress issues from my deployments and my time in the military, and I was trying to find a mechanism where I could relax. In one sense, the beekeeping was that space, and I do beekeeping as well. But I've this gardening kaupapa that I've been on, and the journey that I'm on has really just accentuated tau and settled the wairua within me and the Māori and all these types of things that can be in conflict. So I have found not only learning and going, but this process of understanding whakapapa, this process of understanding Māori, mana, te ao tūroa, maramataka, these principles of huapare kore, which we'll talk about in another lesson, have grounded me in a way where I'm getting reconnected back into the environment. And I think part of the process has been about actually just slowing down. We live in a chaotic world. We are pushed into doing things, whether it's economically or job situations or our career choices. And so we tend to get squeezed and pressured into a whole lot of other things that may not necessarily be satisfying. Well, for me, gardening has that. Gardening has become a process of where even just doing the seed germination stuff that we've got going on just out the door here. I planted out 1,000 lettuces on the 9th and put them in my little plastic container to germinate, and they've come through. We're hardening up seedlings to plant out. We've planted out and so forth. So this is not a course where it's all theory. If you do what we're doing, you will grow something. That's the whole idea behind it. Now, I'm not. This is not. I'm not anybody special. I've been following other people, and I just do want to acknowledge those folk now. So, at the first instance, I've subscribed to, and I would encourage you, particularly if you're Māori here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and you're wanting to think about cultural appropriate practices. Join up on Te Waka Kaiora and the Huapare Kore Kaupapa, and you'll become part of a team and community that are looking at sustainable practices that employ the tikanga Māori customs and nuances towards growing your vegetables. I'm in the process myself. Second year at the end of this year into the Huapare Kore Māori certification for organic growing. So I'm applying those principles to our mara that we have just out this window here and around this site. But I've also looked at other nuances. So we've got the Maramataka Māori, which is the Māori lunar calendar, sowing and harvesting and fishing and so forth. So I have that in the background, and you'll hear about it. And I also look at other people around the place. So and these are things that I would encourage you as you build up your experience, you build up your connections and your networks as you join different social platforms where locally and regionally where you can participate in gardening conversations. As an example, I grabbed some. I was somewhere early in the year and I grabbed some seeds and I put them into my seed bag with a whole lot of other seeds. I forgot to name them. And so I just posted on my garden pages that I'm networked with, and I'd say, hey, whānau, can you just let me know what these are? I've forgotten where they were and where I got them from. And as soon as they started, when the news came back in, oh yeah, kōwhai, te mea. Then information came about how to actually germinate them, which I hadn't known about. Otherwise, I'd be going through a long process. And so there's networking too, you're not only connecting to the marae, but you're also connecting to each other. And there's mātauranga, which is one of the principles of Huapare Kore, this idea of learning and understanding that we all grow together. So developing a network. And if you haven't already, jump on our Kaitake Marakai Facebook page. And I just put things up, and there's other people that put stuff up there as well. And it's an opportunity for you to communicate to our whānau in a wider sense of what's going on. Then I've also got international links that I'm part of. So I've got some folk over in Australia, ex-military people who are doing gardening from a similar perspective in regards to their own well-being space. I've connected up with Jeff Lawton, who's pretty much the guru around permaculture and the 12 to 14 principles of permaculture. That'll come up again. And so the information that's coming in, like my heart is like soil as well. I'm needing to tend to it and make sure that it's got the right information and the nutrients and the mauri and the mana and the wairu and all that type of stuff that we're talking about in the soil. We have to do that ourselves. So the information that I give to you and we share together is mātauranga that's shared amongst a wide community of networks. So being connected is not just about connecting to the whenua and our mara and the soil that we have, but it's also about those social relationships. And I kind of call them in my world te tātai hono. There's this place where we're able to interconnect with people. And sometimes it has to be professional advice, and sometimes it's just whānau and friends advice, and we have to discern which is helpful for whatever stage we're finding ourselves. So that's us getting started, and those are the types of things that in the background as we're talking and growing in our garden space. And yes, and so that's who I am and what we're about in this program. Sharing knowledge together, growing together, if you're not on my YouTube channel, which this links into, jump onto there and you see a wider spectrum of things that we're involved with from a charitable perspective through to our businesses, through to what we're doing here in the garden. But they all feed into building sustainability, building resilience. This process of transformation, empowerment, and then activation, participating and acting, learn something and then go and do it. And this course is based around that. And so enjoy, and we'll see you in the garden. Kia ora.